Am I wrong for dropping out of my friend's wedding party after a prank? Depends how severe the prank was. My female 26 cousin, female 29, got engaged a few months ago and asked me to be a bridesmaid. I was so excited to accept. Her sister, 32 female, is the maid of honor, and there are 3 other bridesmaids. The date is set for April 2024. On April 1st of this year, she sent a PDF to the bridesmaid group chat that really made me angry. It was a list of wedding party responsibilities, rules, and regulations. It included a picture of the bridesmaid dresses that we'd be wearing. They were hideous. And she told us that we have to pay $800 for them and that they only went up to a size 8, so anyone bigger than that would need to lose weight before the wedding. That made me so angry because I wear a size 10, but also she's like a size 12 herself, so even fatter than me. Other ridiculous things she added. None of us were allowed to be tanner than her for the wedding, so she told us that none of us could spend significant time in the sun for the next year. She wanted to have longer hair than all of her bridesmaids, so she said that we'd all have to cut our hair to our shoulders or shorter. She wanted to do a choreographed dance with all of us and insisted that we go to a 3-hour dance classes with her every Sunday until the wedding, a year away. She said that she wanted her bachelorette party to be in Paris and that we would all need to chip in $3,000. There was more, but I was so angry, I stopped reading and muted the group chat for a few hours. I was so livid and hurt that I decided to drop out of the wedding party, but I didn't say anything right away. The next day, I checked the group chat again, and everyone else had been chatting about how funny the bride's prank was. Apparently, at the bottom of the PDF, it said April Fools, but I hadn't read that far because I was so mad. Everyone else thought it was hilarious, but it still rubbed me the wrong way. I reached out to the bride to tell her how much this hurt my feelings, and she did apologize. But even though it's been almost 2 months, I'm still really angry. I can kind of tell. I decided this week that I no longer wanted to be a bridesmaid because of the mean-spirited prank and told my cousin. Now, she's really hurt and angry, and the other maid of honor and other bridesmaids and some of my family members are blowing up my phone saying that I'm overreacting to an innocent prank. But I believe that pranks are only funny if the recipient finds them funny, and I definitely don't. So, am I the asshole? So she has a small little edit, okay? Okay, clearly, I've been deemed the asshole, and I'll accept that, but I also realized that I didn't explain my feelings very well. I was angry because all of the items in the list seemed to single me out. Expensive dress and bachelorette. I make the least money out of everyone in the wedding party, and it felt like a jab. The sizing, same thing. Only me and 2 other bridesmaids are bigger than a size 8. The hair, we all have long hair, but I have the longest hair out of anyone in the wedding party. The tanning, I work outdoors, so I'm probably the one most likely to be tan. Everything I read on the list felt tailored to me.
Am I wrong for not letting my sister use the family property for her upcoming wedding? I'm 25, my sister is 29, and I also have a younger sister, 8. When I was 14, my mom sent me to live with her parents, and her excuse was they needed help. But I truly believe that she just didn't want to deal with a growing male teen. My grandparents owned an amazing property in the mountains that had a great view, and we also had horses and other critters. They were quite wealthy and both passed 4 years ago, a month apart. They gave me the property because I would appreciate and respect it more, while mom and sisters got money and other assets. And those assets did value more than the property. In the past 4 years, I turned part of the property into a venue for mainly weddings. My grandparents did know about the idea and they thought it was a good one. We're super busy and usually booked about 8 months out. Well, my sister got engaged 1.5 years ago and said she wanted to get married at the property. I said yes, but to just let me know the date as soon as possible so I can make sure it's booked. Am I wrong for not letting my sister use the family property for her upcoming wedding? I never got a date, so I followed up several times and kept asking, and she would just brush me off. Well, now her, my mom, other family, her partner's family, as well as other flying monkeys have been blowing me up. They're also calling and writing reviews for my business. I asked them to stop and call my sister, telling her all she had to do was tell me the date. She went off on me, telling me I ruined her day and it's our family property. Now she's saying she already sent out the invitations and couldn't go back on it now. She wants me to cancel on the other couple, and they've been on the books for a year now, and I actually like them. After the last big blow up, I started communicating strictly through business. I suggested 3 other dates around the same time, but that's not good enough. I'm being resentful and I'm the asshole. Am I wrong for jumping off a train before the doors closed and abandoning my pregnant wife? We're gonna need some context. I know the title sounds crazy. It does. I'll try to explain this the best I can. I'm 29 and my wife is 25 and she's 5 months pregnant. Recently, we decided to go on a holiday together, which was nothing fancy, just to the coast, which meant we had to take a train. We had maybe 3 rolling suitcases and one of those army-style backpacks. About 20 minutes into our journey, we heard an announcement over the speakers that the train was being diverted. This meant it wasn't going to stop at the station we needed anymore. I panicked and told my wife we had to get off the train or we wouldn't be able to go where we needed. So I got up, started grabbing our things, and rushed off the train. And I couldn't believe it when I turned around and she hadn't got off the train. Am I wrong for jumping off a train before the doors closed and abandoning my pregnant wife? I couldn't believe it when I looked around and she hadn't gotten off with me. She was trying to grab our 3rd suitcase because I had the other 2 in the backpack. Unfortunately, it was too late, and even if I rushed to the doors, they were closed. My wife looked like she wanted to unalive me, and the train pulled away with her on it. Of course, I called her to tell her to get off at the next stop, and I'd get the next one and meet her, but she was definitely irate. She told me the holiday was canceled and she was going home. To top it off, she told her family and mine, and they're all furious at me for abandoning a pregnant woman on a train. Especially in their words, when it was headed God knows where with a heavy suitcase. And now my father-in-law is telling me I'm an idiot for what I did. I feel like I was in the right, but my wife and family have other ideas. So, am I wrong? Top comment says, why panic over something so little? You sound like one of those people that would reverse on the highway because you took the wrong exit.
Help, my boyfriend peed on my mother. So I will explain. My boyfriend and I got home late after a basketball game and we were both super tired, so we went to sleep at my mom's house since we were both home on winter break. In the middle of the night, I woke up to my mother screaming, quote, "What are you doing? This isn't the bathroom. You just peed on me. Get out." And I found my boyfriend missing from the bed. When he comes back in the room and lays down, it is obvious that he is still sleeping. I was horrified and didn't know what to do. Fast forward to the next morning. My mom calls me out to the living room while my boyfriend is still asleep. She then asks, "Does boyfriend have a history of sleepwalking? Was he drinking last night?" I answer no to both of these, and then she continues to explain that he peed on her in his sleep, all over her bed. She doesn't want to bring it up to him because she knows he was sleepwalking and doesn't want to embarrass him. I am sick to my stomach over this incident. What do I do? Am I the asshole for telling my wife I'm moving? It is up to her if she is coming with me or not.
Okay.
My wife and I have been married for 6 years and have 2 kids under 5. We live on the East Coast in a 2-bedroom small house. Cost of living here is insane. My parents moved down south a few years ago. My mother called me up a few weeks ago to tell me about a home in their community that is up for sale. They are good friends with the owner and can get us a good deal for the house. To me, this sounds amazing. Everything there is cheaper, and we will have more space and more bedrooms for our kids. I work from home, so I talk to work and I would be able to keep my job no problem. My wife would need to leave hers, but I could cover us until she finds a new one. I contacted a real estate agent to get an estimate on how much we can get for our house here, and it's a good amount and would make the move easy. Once I had everything worked out and I was sure it was a good idea, I brought it up to my wife. She was totally against it immediately. She doesn't want to leave her job, she doesn't want to move the kids away from her family, and she does not want to leave her friends. I explained to her that when she puts her selfish reasons aside, this was a great opportunity for our kids. We will have more money and more space, a big backyard, and we will be close to my parents, so our kids won't be without family. She said no, there was no chance. Her life is here and has been her entire life, and she has no intentions to change that. I was pissed and slept on the couch that night. I spent all night thinking about it and came to the decision that if she doesn't want to do the right thing by our kids, I will. I laid it out for her. It was up to her if she wanted to move, but I had made the decision to move. She could either come with me or we could divorce. We could sell the house, split it, and I will use my half for my new home down south, and she can do whatever she can with her half up here. Probably would have to rent. We would also have to work out custody of our kids. I told her she has a month to make the decision, but I was going to start the process and get all of my business in order. She told me I was being crazy and has only been speaking to me about the kids for the last week. I have been in contact with the seller of the new house and I am setting things in motion. My parents told me I'm doing the right thing and I'm looking out for my kids. I ran it by my friend who told me I'm being an asshole for expecting my wife to change her entire life. But this is what is best for our kids. And I think she needs to grow up, stop being selfish, and think of our kids.